Hey everybody, Corey here. Just wanted to let you guys know about podcast reviews. You should know about them. You should do them. If you feel so inclined to rate us on your podcast service, we would very much appreciate it. And hey, if you have the accolades, hit up that Apple iTunes podcast review, the mecca of all podcast reviews. That would be glorious. With that out of the way, let's get this show on the road.
Hello and welcome to Achievement Hunting 101. I'm your host, Fufu Cuddly Poof, and thank you for listening. This is level 59, which is also the amount of points that my Ravens put up against the Dolphins. Woo! Suck it, Miami, your team sucks.
Football.
It is football season. And unfortunately, Ella's not here to be excited with me. Instead, I have these two lamos.
Hey, I'll have you know, I spent my fair share of time in Madden world this weekend.
That doesn't count because you sat there and just asked for help with guides.
I took the 49ers and we smoked the competition with the pigskin ball of yesteryear. I don't know.
This is amazing. But in case you don't know who they are, we have with us Corey and Nate. What is up, guys?
Definitely not sports talk.
Yes, not sports talk. And not my pins and Gears Pop.
Oof, I know. Gears Pop, you hurt us so. I guess we'll save that for a little bit later, I guess, unless it comes up. But, you know, let's kick it to Nate. How was your week?
Oh, my week was okay. It wasn't too bad. Now that G-Task is kind of over.
Speak for yourself.
No one cares about that anymore, right? I mean, we got our badges. Everybody got their badge.
I haven't cared since week 1.
Everybody that I know got their badge, their week 10 badge, and so now we all just don't care about it, right?
Pretty much.
Hey, Koosh, meet Fufu. Fufu, meet Koosh.
Yeah.
That's so annoying.
So I actually haven't looked at my G-Task scores. Just wanted to make sure that the team didn't drop or I wasn't letting the team down. But other than that, I hadn't paid attention to it at all. Not really even thinking about it. I should probably talk to my team about that. Make sure.
What's your team name?
For the longest time, I thought it was like team name pending. I don't know if we actually have
it. Y'all are doing good. Top 100 still.
It still says team name pending.
Yep.
I don't know why that is. That's weird. I thought we had changed it.
Because you haven't added one yet. All said is it.
Up to the team captain, I guess. So I haven't been worried about that at all. Instead, I've just kind of been even slacking even more on Gears Pop. It's hard to kind of do that daily. I'm trying to keep up with it, but not so much. This past weekend, as Corey mentioned, was Madden NFL 20 free play weekend. And I did most of that on, I want to say, Friday night. I got a good chunk of it done, and then got some help from, I think, Mattism on Sunday night. So he was either Sunday or Friday. And then I did the rest of it Sunday night and a little bit yesterday morning. So finally got that out of the way. Man, the worst parts of the Madden NFL 20 are when you're actually playing football. Like, the rest of it was really, the simming was really easy. I mean, the game looks great. It plays fine, but I don't know any of the rules, really. Like, I mean, I know the basic rules of football, right? But I don't know what a quarter is, a dime, a nickel. I don't know what all that stuff
is. Fake punt with release.
Yeah.
Plays.
Yeah, exactly. With release.
That's not a real play, apparently.
I don't know. I don't know enough of the terminology to know if that's a generic term for a pass or if that is a very specific play. So I was just getting super frustrated, and I was doing this late at night, so that frustration carried over. Poor Mattism had to hear me just crying basically about football.
Did you complete it?
Oh, I did complete it, yeah, but it was painful. It was painful, and it didn't help that I was up against the clock. That's probably another reason I was really frustrated with it. But it's done. whatever,
So I just thought of a great Patreon exclusive.
Oh.
We record a game of football, one of the games, it doesn't much matter which one, and you two have to do your commentary over top of it like us, like the actual sportscasters.
That sounds horrible.
That sounds like a fantastic idea. I would love to hear you two trying to give your quote-unquote professional opinion.
Well,
and
maybe.
trying to explain what's going on.
We'll see if people actually want to hear that or not. I also played a little bit of
in the
Rhyme.
Discord.
I was trying to do a little bit of a challenge that Chewy threw to me earlier. It was like a gaming goal completion challenge where both he and I would try to get Rhyme done and see who got it done first. It's on my RTDL. I have 2 achievements there. So I was kind of like, oh, this sounds like fun. But then the game is just so much fun. Like, I just really like this type of game that I don't really want to rush it. So I'm going to try to get that done early this month, although we're almost halfway through the month. Get that done so that I'm not just like, reading a guide or anything. I want to go through it, enjoy the game to the end, and then go back and do the cleanup of the guide. And I did check, and that is possible. I also completed Gears 4 campaign solo. Because I wanted to get that done just before Gears 5, and I actually got it done the night before Gears 5 came out. So that's really a pretty cool story. I had forgotten a lot. I think I jumped back in at like chapter 4, or act 4, later in the chapter, and then finished it all out and goes to like act 5, chapter 2 or something like that. I think is the end of the game. That's not a spoiler to tell you about how much it is, I don't think. But but then the nice thing was when you start Gears 5, it has a previously on Gears, and then it runs you through it. And I was like, oh yeah, that story did make a lot of sense.
I heard about this. I'm pretty excited to see it. I heard that there's also another previously, like in the extras of the first trilogy.
Oh.
So like there's more behind the scenes if you didn't, catch up the previous decade.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's useful.
So, like, it'll tell you about the other stuff and not just Gears 4.
Young man Marcus.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I might have to check that out because I didn't really play. What was the one that wasn't a numbered Gears?
Judgment.
Yeah, I didn't really play Judgment at all. I think I just logged in, got 1 or 2 achievements. So I don't know anything about that. So yeah, then I started Gears 5, and that looks like it could be a lot of fun. I think I just got to the part where it's supposedly open world or more open world. And it looks very pretty. Then
I'm hearing great things about Gears 5.
Well, I am and I'm not. Like I thought I would hear a lot more chatter about Gears 5. People just don't seem to be talking about it much on the Discord.
I don't think people can get in to Xbox Live to play it.
Well, there is that.
It did launch at a bad time.
I actually haven't had problems getting in, so I don't know. But I don't know. Let's see what happens this week if there's a little bit more spin up for it or not. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was Dead Cells Win 10. So this got added to Game Pass Ultimate or Game Pass PC.
I knew you'd be excited for that.
Yes. And have you heard anything about it on the PC?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So
no.
There was a bug, and it happens to be with unlocking achievements. And the achievement, the achievement that you earn is not the achievement that you unlocked. So
wait, what?
Yes. So I'm running through the levels. I get to, the very first achievement you can get is getting to this next zone. So not the first zone, but getting through that first zone, getting to the next zone. As soon as you reach it, you get an achievement. It says first time in wherever. Mm-hmm. And what popped for me instead of getting to that zone was killing the end boss on 4th cell difficulty.
I have a question.
That's awesome.
Has this been patched?
It has. I think it has been fixed.
Dang.
However, they did not go back and apply the right achievement and take away the achievement. I guess they can't do that, right? Once you got it,
they can do that.
So they fixed it now so that when you earn an achievement, or when you fulfill the requirements for an achievement, you get the right achievement to pop for it. So I now have achievements that are very difficult to get that were unlocked by doing simple things like getting past the first level. Or Using this one ability that you get, like, flipped another one that was really, much farther in the game than what I had earned. Let's see what some of these fun ones are that I earned really quickly.
That's the kind of bugs that you want in a game.
Yeah. So a 4.27 ratio. The last Rampart falls. Beat the Hand of the King. I haven't even been to the Hand of the King on Xbox or PC.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 3.83 for reaching the Insufferable Crypt. I don't think I've ever been there. Reached the ossuary for the first time. That's a 2.8. I'm pretty sure I have done that. This is it's just insane to me. That I have all these things and I didn't earn them. Now, I'm also thinking that because this was on PC, the ratios are probably skewed, right? Like, more people actually have this than should have this. So, like, these values that are already fairly high are probably not as high as they are on the Xbox. So that'd be kind of fun to go back and check. But they have fixed it. I know Smitty had the same problem. He went in. Actually, he was the one that notified me that this stuff was going on. I was like, let me go check that out. So I jumped in, and then, my gosh, that game is fun. I just kept playing and playing. My first run was really good. I'm pretty sure this is true. They increase your luck of getting like a legendary drop in your run on the first couple passes through the game, because they want you to have fun. They know you're probably, if you're a new player, you're not going to be very good. So they're giving you all this stuff to kind of make it really good. And then the grind happens after about your third or fourth life. Because I have not seen any of those drops. So it was really just funny that I got those really epic drops at the beginning, and I got way farther in the game than I normally do. And I got a whole bunch of achievements that I shouldn't have gotten because they popped incorrectly, but they are fixed now.
So is that end game stuff that you said that you don't think you've been to yet? Mm-hmm. Is it just because the game is that hard and you haven't been able to get there, or you just haven't put the time in to get there?
I think I can get to there. There's actually some save state tricks you can use on the Xbox that, once you have a good run going, you can kind of like save it. And then if you die, you can restore that version and not go all the way back to the beginning. So there are some tricks that you can use that make some of those really daunting looking achievements actually not as bad. So I think I can do pretty well in this game if I were just to stick with it. But the problem is I just kind of want to bounce off it and go to other things. But the game is so good that when I go back, I'm just like, why am I not playing this? I don't know why. It's a common problem I have with games that I really like, is I don't want to play them because I want them to always be there and always have achievements for me to earn.
Yeah, Dead Cells is that one game where I've only ever heard good things about. Is this on just Game Pass for Windows 10, or is it also on for Xbox?
The Game Pass version is only on PC. So,
lame.
Unlike Timespinner, where Timespinner was play anywhere, this has a separate stack, so you can't do that trick to kind of play.
Yeah, I don't think you can, at least, because I bought the game on Xbox, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if you own it.
Yeah, I don't own it, so it's something that I would like to try because everyone just rants and raves about it so much. But at the same time,
new list. I'm inclined to say it's only on PC there.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, that's a good point. What about you, Corey?
Oh man, I wasn't on the podcast last week, but you guys did notice my skinning of the rats in preparation for P-Tart's contest, which didn't go quite as planned. But yeah, I hit up back in 1995, Gravity Duck, Paradox Soul, Super Willow, D-Make, Sagebrush. That might have been all the rats I hit during that week. But real quick, Sagebrush, really good. Super Willow D-Make, really bad. Paradox Soul, a little better. Gravity Duck, great. Back in 1995, sucks.
Gravity Duck, great. You're never going to hear that anywhere else.
I mean,
right.
The only one I didn't finish was back in 1995, and that's because essentially you have to play through the game once, and once you roll over the credits, it kind of throws you back at the beginning, and you have to go through a little portion of the game again to get to a certain point. And so I only have one achievement left, but I died, and because the controls are really crappy, and I died, and it took me all the way back to a checkpoint before I beat it the first time. So
Oof.
I couldn't do it anymore. It's that bad of a feel, and I'll do it eventually, but I couldn't wait. But I was hitting up a lot of easy gamer score, did jump step, except for the perfect run that I screwed up. I started tracks. That really sucks. So I'm playing a lot of great games for some gamer score there, and not having a great time. So I eventually did have to go back to my RTDL. I hit up Westerado, Song of the Deep. I'm working on Video Ball. That's a new one for me. That game's not super great either. Star Balls. So good. Here's the thing about RTDL this month. I think I hands down have the most time consuming list out there, because what do you know? I roll the play 500 hours of Star Balls achievement.
Rip.
Yeah. And that's not one that it takes absolutely zero skill. And so that's not something that I just want to re-roll and waste a re-roll on. So I'm actually working towards it.
Well,
yeah.
The good news about that, I think, Nate, you're the one that came up with like a way to get around this to make it go to do it in half the time.
No.
No. Okay.
No, Corey has to do all of it. He's going to do all of it.
I know the trick where you can half it. I can't do that trick though.
You need 2 Xboxes to be able to do that, and
you need 2 Xboxes, and you can't game share, or you have to buy it yourself.
Oh, I didn't know about that part.
Yeah, because you have to be able to launch the game offline.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So
I didn't think about that. My Xbox is always online. I forgot about that part.
So like Elroy owns the game, I don't. So that's how I'm playing it. And so if I wanted to try the offline trick, I'd have to buy it myself, and I'm not giving them any more money.
Right.
Why? It's such a fantastic game. You sure you don't want to?
I started out at about 150 hours. Like I kind of was working on it for BCM, because that's pretty, that's a meaty one, and I kind of just put it off, and I've added about 150, 200 hours to it. So I got like 150 left, 175. So
I mean, it's not a bad project if you're trying to get it done in a year.
But
if you're trying to get it done in a month,
I did the math, and like so far, like even with the Xbox Live debacle, I stayed signed in. My Xbox has not been turned off since August 29th or 31st, whenever we got the list. And so I haven't missed, like the only time it's not playing Star Balls is when I'm actively playing it. It's playing Star Balls right now. And so I'm
playing
until I miss it, and the calculations will not let me finish it within the month. It's staying on the list. But I've been having fun with that. I hit up the newest rat this week, Hymno. That might be a record for fastest rat. I did it in...
Wait,
saying something.
It's faster in Super Weekend mode? Because people were saying they got that done in like 5 minutes.
Well, those people are liars.
BS, yeah.
I think I spent at least half an hour on that one. But Hymno, Himno. This one, I believe I recorded 10 or 11 minutes from first pop to last pop.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, there's a few minutes before the first pop, and had I known what I was doing, I could have made that even faster. And so that was a brand new one, so they didn't even have a walkthrough or anything like that. Not that you need one, but it's a quick one. Anything else notable? I finished Age of Empires 2018, so which means I have the new version, the Game Pass version, basically preloaded. So that's, I think as of a recording, it's like 600 TA diff at the ready for G-Task. So I'm holding on to that one. And just like Koosh, I played Madden this week. Got most of the points, not everything. And I think that's it. I did try out 2 brand new games. One of them comes out today, if you're listening to it, day of the podcast, called Super Dodgeball Beats. That one is worth mentioning a little bit just because it's a different type of game. It's a rhythm-based game where you tap whenever the circle gets closer. And so I'm having fun with it, although it's very hard. At least right now, until I guess you can get power-ups and stuff like that to throw at your enemies, but they're throwing them back at you just as quickly, so you got to build up some massive combos. So I'm having fun with that one, and then the other one I just dived, basically, is River City Girls, and it looks like it's going to be a fun beat 'em up. So hopefully we'll hear some more about that.
So that dodgeball game isn't like Super Dodgeball or anything?
I've never played Super Dodgeball, but there's absolutely no throwing of any balls that you do personally. It's all rhythm inputs. And
it makes a lot of sense.
Based off your combos, they throw the balls and basically all that. So
yeah,
I was throwing up wrenches.
No wrenches. I was looking at these screenshots for it, and it didn't make sense how this was a dodgeball game because everyone was like too close to each other. I'm like, there's no room to move or catch or dodge. But now that you say it's a rhythm game, that checks out.
You have 4 players that you're controlling, and they are lined up just like the A, B, Y, X buttons on your controller. And there's an outer ring that is getting closer to an inner ring. Once those overlap, you hit the corresponding button, and that beat is done. And of course, they come in at different timings and whatnot. Then they throw in long beats where you have to hold the button for so long. And then they also add directional beats. So it's only when they are adjacent to each other. So up and down and left and right are the only ones that this happens to. And they can go the reverse ways, down, up, and right, left. But if it opens up on the left person, for example, you have to scroll it all the way over to the right and let go at a timing. And then you just throw a power up with the right trigger. So it's very basic, and it's completely all rhythm based. You have a bar at the top that goes left to your opponent, right towards you. There's a small area in the middle that is a gray area. If it lands in that gray area, it's a tie. If it lands on either side, that team wins. So there's absolutely no combat that you do yourself in the game.
Huh.
The teams in the game are also fantastic.
Yeah, there are a lot of parody teams. My favorite one has to be the Power Dancers, obviously ripped off of the Power Rangers. But there's a couple like that. The music, which is obviously a big part of this game, it was pretty good for the most part. Obviously, it's all brand new just to this game, nothing recognizable. But I'm having fun with it. I've been kind of wanting to get into a rhythm game here recently, so this kind of came at a good time. And yeah, I look forward to trying to master it a little bit more as it comes out. Like I said, it comes out Thursday, September 12th.
How does somebody know that they want to get into a rhythm game?
I was just about to ask the same thing.
Because I've really been wanting to play like Guitar Hero or Rock Band, and I don't have those anymore. And I certainly can't
that sucks.
get them anymore.
Right.
I guess I could, but
eBay doesn't exist.
Well, since my gaming time is 100% done when everybody else in the house is asleep, I can't be banging on plastic instruments anymore.
Well, there might be an interesting sale game for you, if that's still the case.
Maybe we'll talk about that during the sales segment.
I don't know.
But it's not time for that.
Way too structured.
It's time for Kenny to get his last words in before.
But Kenny doesn't play games, so he doesn't have anything to talk about.
I played games.
For his games. What?
I played games. I got a couple to talk about. Well, a couple to mention real quick. Obviously, I think you guys and most of the community have been plugging away at Gears Pop. Screw you update. It's ruined everything. Yeah, just, log on daily, trying to do something little here, a little there. I'm kind of at to the point now where I just have all the stupid grindy ones where, collect coins, do horde waves, yada, yada. I think, Corey, you were the one that said it, where you said you probably get about 95% of this done at some point in time. I can kind of see that. I don't ever see myself getting seriously pop, which, by the way, someone unlocked that this week. Holy crap. That's insane.
Did you hear how much they said they put in?
I did not see that.
I thought I saw it somewhere that they, on Reddit or something, mentioned...
I want to say it was in the TA forums.
And what was the number you remember?
500.
That's what I remembered. Okay, so we saw the same.
Oh, okay. You know what? Now that you say I do remember that. That seems cheap.
I think that they were pretty efficient. I think they were pretty efficient with it. However, I noted in Discord today that the person who got seriously pop, which Jimbot commented on the hardest part of Seriously Pop is getting the gold, right? That person still doesn't have a level 20 pin to max it out, and he's not level 20 himself. So,
wow,
take that for what it's worth. Only one person has
insane.
maxed out a pin, and nobody's hit level 20 yet.
He's waiting for Friday so he can get paid to get the 20.
Maybe.
And that, obviously, this is going to drop eventually. But as of right now, that's worth 18,000 TA.
That is so crazy.
Holy crap.
You can get the Seriously achievement before you can get the level 20 pin.
Yeah, that
is serious.
That speaks volumes.
Yeah, that is messed
for the
up.
pay-to-win market.
Yeah. That is messed up.
That's what this game is. It's if you play a mobile game, this is how it is.
But I get Koosh's point. I mean, seriously, in the Gears franchises is the last achievement that you get in these games.
Yeah. It's supposed to be the highest level.
Yeah.
You know?
Just for the grindiness of
it
them.
involves the most commitment, but
I believe in addition to paying $500, he said he played for straight for days.
Oh, you would have to.
So he probably has, 60, 70, who knows, maybe even 100 hours into the game.
Oh, he's got to have 100 hours in the game. Because some of those, what was it? I can't even think of what it was now. But just a ridiculous amount of horde waves or PvP battles you got to do.
Yeah. You have to win 1,000 battles, play 1,000 rounds of, or beat 1,000 rounds of horde. Yeah.
Which
crazy.
That one in itself is impressive. He must have a crew that's feeding him.
Yep.
Either that or he is clan hopping like crazy. Of course, but then again, if you open up all those boxes, he's probably got a ton of tokens.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, yeah, I guess, if you buy them, they might. I think they do come with that. That's true.
Yeah.
How many horde invites do I have now?
So, another big thing that happened in the Gears Pop world, I don't know if you wanted to get into it now, was that there's a big update.
Yeah, we can get into it now, then I'll finish up.
So they did some balance changes, and essentially they nerfed.
Screw you guys.
Almost like every usable pin, and I haven't seen. We've had some people on the Discord give some pretty good advice on new builds, but it's all still very researchy right now, and trying to figure out what the best setup is in order to keep advancing. But they bounced a lot of pins. They nerfed a lot of them, probably too much. And if you ask me,
oh, for sure,
they added 2 additional pins, an epic and a legendary, both earnable in Arena 5. And this didn't. Maybe this came out with the patch, but there's been a lot of flakiness with the game since this patch. Obviously, there's still login issues. But there's another essential piece of this game that just boggles my mind, and how it's passed. But at first, when the update came out that nerfed all these pins, some users were able to play without updating, causing their pins to stay OP.
Wait, what? How does that work?
Like I said, it boggles my mind. And then another thing that's going on is there are, I want to say it's Android users, they are sideloading an APK file that is modified that makes your pins cost 0 power, 0 energy. And so you could just throw down them all on the field at one time and, wreck shop.
If you find this, send it to me, please.
I'm sure that's going to, if someone who's using a sideloaded APK to do that, I'm sure they're just going to delete their account.
Yeah, I've been.
But if they don't delete my achievements, I'm okay with that.
Well, here's the problem: is Gears Pop on Twitter has made it known that this is how you report people, and please do so if people are abandoning on their matches, if they are because it abandons hurt your streak and hurt your cog number. It's pretty ridiculous, even if they leave the match. But they've made it known that, if you encounter this, report it. And it's more than just, getting deleted from the game. If your Xbox account is attached to it, you are putting it in jeopardy of, getting banned in across Microsoft services. So,
well, there's also the Hammer of Dawn thing that needs to be fixed, right? So apparently, if someone uses a Hammer of Dawn and it kills 2 units on your side of the map, it crashes the game.
Interesting. I've
That's
heard
such
a
a
little bit
random
about
bug.
this.
Yeah, I haven't,
but I don't know much about it.
I haven't seen it, but Mattism was saying that like he got a couple of those in a row. So people just using that to get out of a match that they're losing or something.
Okay, so does it treat it as a loss or a win or a draw, or
I'm not quite sure. But like
That's
just the fact,
interesting.
if you're owning them and you're about to win, and then they just drop a Hammer of Dawn and it resets the whole game, that's kind of cheap. So all kinds of little problems like that.
But basically, the game is not in a stable state, and I mean, I think they're going to fix it. It's still brand new.
Oh, sure.
But it's just mind-boggling how Microsoft and the coalition, whoever's making this game, I don't know if it's the coalition, how that they have let this pass. Because I know in the Clash of Clans days, I would not have been able to do this that I know of. Yeah, you have to connect to their server through the most updated app in order to play.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully it gets fixed, and hopefully it gets fixed soon.
See,
I feel. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, see, this is the problem with the mobile play-to-win model. How long has the game been out? 3 weeks now? Yeah, 3 weeks. Game's been out for 3 weeks, and they're already adding in new stuff. I understand nerfs. I'm not necessarily against nerfs. I'm only against it because you destroyed my deck. But it's 3 weeks in. Your game has problems nonstop for some users. I haven't encountered any of those problems, fortunately. But you're having problems. People can't even log in this stupid game, and you're adding new stuff. That ain't right. You got to get your game stable for everyone before you add in new stuff.
Foo-foo. The login issue is their top priority.
Yeah,
they
sure.
They told us.
So I don't know about you guys, but the nerfs that hit me the hardest was Dom. So Dom going away, and also the ink grenade. So Dom is now,
ink grenade hurts.
They dropped his health by 46%. So in all their balancing testing beforehand, they somehow allowed Dom to have 46% more health than they really wanted him to have. That seems suspicious. And the ink grenade,
that's crazy.
They just now realized that it's like twice the width or twice the diameter that it should be. And that it ticks for too long. Like, I don't quite understand that. Part of me thinks that this is nefarious, right? In that they put out these things. They let the whales spend the money, upgrade those things to the max, and then they take those things that they're maxing out the most, they nerf them the most, and now they have to now go max some other thing just to get more money. So
I mean, it certainly doesn't sound promising on their part.
Yeah.
Because I'm hearing, I have not been able to get any of the new pins, the epic or the legendary, but I'm hearing that they're pretty OP.
Oh, well, that's every game when they put out something new, whether it be a Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, or even a free update like an Overwatch. Whatever is new is always going to be OP.
Well, here's the thing, and the reason I think is because they are now balancing those against 3 weeks worth of pin upgrades, right? So if you're someone who's been going hard and you've been upgrading your pin set, and now they drop in, and this unit is Winter Kate, right? Winter Kate came in and just decimated my style. The first time I had seen her, she just came in and she just destroyed everything in her lane, and I could not take her down in time. And so I don't know if that was because I was surprised to see that unit, didn't really know what was going on. And I, once I was done, I came back up and I read the description of her, and it says that like every swing of her breaker deals area damage. Okay,
Jeez.
Great. So she is a melee that does area damage. Okay, fantastic. And also her first swing apparently does critical damage.
I didn't
so if she makes it all the way, if she makes it all the way to your outpost, then
yeah,
goodbye outpost.
That stinks. So, but so maybe they've been balancing this character against higher level pins. Now I go in with my mediocre deck, and she's just rolling through my pins. Like my highest level is a level 10 Ink, and I have a level 9 Shep. I have a level 9 Snubs. So she just like face rolled me. It was just ridiculous. Now, I think it was Jimbot that said he went up against it and it wasn't so bad. Well, Jimbot happens to be doing very well. His pins are a lot higher than mine, I believe. So maybe for him, his experience with her was like, feels about right. But for me and for anyone, who's got, worse pins, they probably just got destroyed by her. So yeah, whatever. It's more growing pains, I think.
Like there's always going to be something that's OP, and I don't necessarily fault the developers for not being able to test everything because they only have so many people that can test it while it's in beta and in alpha and whatnot. Once it gets into the general public, someone is always going to break it and find a better combination. From what you're saying with Winter Cage, just sounds like it's way too OP. I haven't encountered it yet, fortunately.
Yeah, I'd like to see what you guys think, as you eventually run up against it. And I don't know, maybe it was just the shock of seeing this new unit and just not knowing how to deal with it.
It was a lot all at once with the new pins and the balance changes. It was just a lot to take on at once.
Well, we're also getting a new Horde coming soon. We have a new Horde event coming up. Did you remember that?
I've seen something on it. I forget what it was called, though.
It is the Brumac. So there's a Brumac Horde event coming September 13th through the 16th. So just like the last one, I think it was a 3-day event as well. So you're going to want to kind of get as many of those as you can. So D-rank, get as low as you can so you can get those 5 streaks. And get as many streaks as you can during that day and then get everybody through the Brumac. Because who knows what the rewards are going to be for that. Maybe it'll be a Brumac. That'd be pretty cool.
Man, see, the horns are just perfect for some sort of event where you just, we run it for 3 days, or, hey, Halloween's here, or Christmas, or yada yada. That's a perfect way to implement, just those seasonal or time-based things.
What I am surprised that there's no bundle for Winter Kate.
Give it a minute.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm kind of glad, because, I would have been tempted.
Oh, also during that event, they're going to be giving away free thumpers in the daily messages. So
sweet.
Definitely make sure to log in, get those free thumpers, and then give them to me.
Yeah, at the least just log in and collect that. Which, once again, I really wish they would have daily rewards. That would be so nice when they add that. Even if you're just giving me a couple of pins and the lowest possible box, whatever. It'd be very nice to be able to give me something each day so you kind of just like have that incentive to log in.
And I think that was your weekly installment of Gears Pop 101.
If you're getting tired of this, let us know.
We don't care. We'll probably still talk about it. We still like the game, even if it is ticking us off. But I'm still talking about games I've been playing. Few other games I've been also chugging away at Zoo Tycoon. I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but one of the reasons why I never actually got into this game is as soon as I start playing it, I knew I was going to get addicted because I love these simulation type games. And yeah, I've got the bug. Like, I'm probably not going to put this down until I complete it, and then I'll probably wind up going on to the Ultimate Animal Collection. So,
okay, I was about to ask you which version you were playing.
Yeah, I'm doing the regular right now, and then I'll go on and do the higher one.
Does anything carry over, or do you start over from scratch?
You start over.
Okay.
Which
it's keeping you alive in G-Task, isn't it?
Yes.
Because it has some pretty good ratio. At least it was.
It was.
I guess it's helping your team.
It has some great ratios in it. There's like 8 or a little over 8,000 gamer score in the Ultimate Edition. So
I don't know everything about that game, but I do think that some things like auto pop for people if they join your zoo. I don't think it's a lot, but you should invite me to your zoo.
Well,
yeah, I'd like to help you test that as well.
Well, I was actually just about to say, if anyone sees me online and would like to join in, I think you can have 5 people in a zoo at once if you want to join in and get some if you want to get some progress into it, by all means, just send me a message. I'll invite you. I don't care. Because as of right now, I'm playing by myself, and I know in the Ultimate Animal Edition, I will need someone in there because there are a couple of achievements attached to friends.
The game never resonated with me. I don't know why. It's not like it didn't feel like the old Zoo Tycoon. So
it's nowhere near as good as the old Zoo Tycoon. The old one was much better.
I mean, Roller Coaster Tycoon. That's the one that I played.
Oh well, there was an older Zoo Tycoon that was much better. I by far prefer that one, but this is still scratching that same itch. Like I said, I like the simulation, the Roller Coaster Tycoon, Jurassic Park, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I don't think I played that many of the Tycoon games. I can't remember any of them, but definitely the Sim games, like Sim City, Sim Ant.
Sim Ant.
That's how old I am. Sorry, those are the only two I remember playing.
I'm following you, Koosh. I can name like 6 or 7 Sim games.
My absolute favorite was a phone game called Game Dev Story.
I know I've never played that one.
Once I got that, I couldn't put it down. It was just fun.
Huh.
Another game we've been playing since Elle's not here. I guess I'll have to bring up Borderlands. We played Borderlands, and guys, we finally got some achievements. We were making some progress with this godforsaken game.
I saw that. You got like 3 in one night.
Yeah, something like
it's like jackpot.
Yeah, we completed the Tiny Tina DLC, which is just amazing.
So you met Butt Stallion?
Yes, we met Butt Stallion, which coincidentally I meet Butt Stallion, we complete that, then the very next day, Funko Pops announced that they're having a Butt Stallion pop, so it's like, now I have to have that pop now. It looks so good. I love it. The Tiny Tina DLC was just, bravo.
It's quality. It's top
it was
notch.
So good. Arguably one of the best DLCs I've ever played.
So what's left of Borderlands 2 for that group?
At this point, cleanup. The biggest problem with this game is we just don't want to play it. Like, this is the first time in a month since we played it. We always try to find some excuse not to play, or Elle's and Michelle's going to a concert or something like that. Yeah, like when we're looking at it, we have to go back to the Pirate's Booty DLC. We gotta do all the side missions, more side missions. There's like an arena or something like that in the Tiny Tina DLC, and then we have to do the stuff like reach level 50 and do all the character specific achievements. Like, it's coming to an end. It's just that late game crap that we gotta do.
It doesn't sound like you're that close.
Oh, probably not. You will probably be hearing about this for another year, especially if the game winds up glitching on us like it did the last time we played.
When did this boost start?
Oh, when did this boost start? Here, let me see.
We don't talk about when boosts start. We never look back.
My first achievement... Oh, okay, that's 2012. I'm not going to count that. Let's see. The very first achievement that I unlocked, for that I guess I would consider this, is December 14th, 2017. So we are coming up on the 2-year anniversary of this godforsaken thing.
More power to you.
But like I said, in all honesty, we have been finding every reason in the book not to play. Like, the 1 week, 2 weeks ago, we got into the game, we loaded it up, and Michelle's like, I want to do Master Chief Collection. I'd rather play and get a game or achievement in RTDL. And everyone's like, okay, bye. The motivation just isn't there.
Need to commit, guys. Just commit to doing it.
We do. We really need to just commit and buckle down and do it. But
I know, yeah. How are you ever going to get to play Borderlands 3?
Absolutely freaking not. I am not playing Borderlands 3. I could not care less about that game.
What if I buy you a copy? Would you leave me hanging?
Well, if you buy me a copy, well, then I'll definitely play. If someone wants to buy me a copy, I'll play with you. I'm not that cruel. But I'm definitely for sure not buying myself a copy. The only way I'm going to play this game, maybe, is if it comes to Game Pass.
I can't wait.
But last game that I played, that I actually kept secret because I didn't want you guys to see it because I knew you two would be excited that I played it. I played a Metroidvania.
Let me guess. It's got to be Guacamelee.
That's not Batman.
It's got to be Guacamelee.
Nate, got a guess? As he's looking on my card to try my tag.
No, I'm trying. Well, I know you didn't get any achievements in it. I'm trying to think. Maybe Yoku's.
Oh, that's a good guess.
Nate's got it. I played Yoku's Island.
New Game Pass game, yep.
That's what I was thinking. It's got to be like a Game Pass or something that was like super cheap recently.
So the other night, I was playing games. I'm kind of winding down. I was like, all right, I need to do my dailies. Let me take a look what I have. I sign on the Microsoft Rewards, and I see I have one of my quests where it's just like get a achievement in a new game. So I'm like, okay. I look at the list, and I bring up Yoku's Island. I see that there's an achievement for using the noisemaker is at like 75% unlock. I'm like, perfect. I'll do that real quick. I'll do that. I'll just go to bed after, no big deal. I get that, and I'm just like, this is kind of interesting. I'll, just kind of explore, see what it is. I played for like another hour and a half. I started playing it, and I was just like, ooh, then I could do this. Ooh, this is fun. This game is cool. I really like this game. I'm going to be jumping back into this here. I actually wound up unlocking 4 achievements.
I
wasn't expecting like a pinball thing.
If only we recommended games on this show that are fun to play.
It's just like, I'm like, oh, this is why they recommended it. This makes sense.
Now, did you pay attention to what we had been saying about this game from the start? Like,
nope, not at all.
Oh boy. Okay.
There's collectibles in this game. By the time you finish the story, you're going to wish you were done with it. But you're not going to be because there's collectibles.
Oh boy.
Yes. So as you're going through, I'll say this again, as you're going through and you get to those pinball screens, right? The ones where it's definitely like a locked pinball game that you have to progress in order to get past it.
Right.
There'll be little scarabs. Maybe you've seen these.
Like a June bug.
Yeah, little bugs that are grayed out. And if you do certain actions, like spin the ball near them or spin a spinner near them, and you do it enough times, the wings will open. And sometimes they'll open like in 3 stages or something like that. There's an achievement for getting all of those to open. Now, some boards only have 1, others have 2. There might even be one that has, or a few that have 3, but I think 2's the highest that I can remember. But if you're going from the beginning of the game to the end of the game knowing that, then you don't really have to backtrack because you are going to have to hit every screen in order to get through the game. But if you didn't know that, now you're going to have to go back and get it. People who played the game early had no indicator of where those were. They eventually added that in once you get to a certain threshold that you can see them on the map. So,
but granted, that's a very high threshold, but
it's
yes,
a pretty
it
high
is
threshold.
there.
Yeah. So as you're going through to continue playing, as you get to a new pinball screen, I just recommend you look for those scarabs, make sure you get them, and then move on.
I have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, to cut down on the backtracking you have to do.
Because
as you're going through, as you're traveling to somewhere where you've already been, I would just make sure you look at those and try to knock them out as you get to them naturally.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to backtrack through everything anyways. But if you're like me and you didn't really pay attention, you got to backtrack through it again. So I was done with the game by the time I was done with the game.
Yeah, and somebody wrote a really helpful solution, so you can use that. That might help you.
Give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Will do. And that actually is one of the questions I had for it. How easy is it to like backtrack and navigate the map and whatnot? Like, is there eventually when I get to a point in the game, is there something like a fast travel, or is it the same, or I have to sit there and roll and travel throughout the map?
There is fast travel, but it's not to every screen, but it is to different areas of the map you can fast travel.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
It is a little cumbersome to move around at times, but
and if you take too long of a break, it's going to be hard to remember where those hard to get to rooms are accessed from. Like there's a couple where you have to go through, like there's one in particular off the top of my memory where you have to swim under a little bit of area that you didn't know that there was a passage through.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this whole underwater cavern that I can never quite remember how to get to. That extends for multiple screens. So there's just different places where you're like, well, how did I get there?
I can see that.
Yeah, so I would just stick with it.
I would recommend kind of maybe sticking to it once you start it.
So it's a great game, and I'm afraid that in order to make it as painless a completion as possible, you may have to mainline this, and maybe you'll be kind grossed out by the amount that you have to consume all at one time. But it is I'm glad. It really does make me happy that you that you found the joy in this game.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. That's what I said. I'm like, it was kind of getting late. I'm like, I need to go to bed. But then I started this up, and next thing I know, it's just like, oh crap! It's an hour later.
Yeah. That's why the podcast was late.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, that was my fault. It's not Kenny's fault.
Yeah, blaming me. Jeez. Well, let's move on from that. Let's get into the sales portion. Corey, what
horrible segue.
I thought you were looking for a soundbite. Corey, why don't you go ahead? What are you getting this week?
Yes, I am getting some sales. I don't know if I have this one, or at least I have access to it, I think. I need to double check. But there's a nice little roguelite. One of the only roguelites I've played, and I actually enjoyed it. Riddled Corpses EX is on sale for $3. And I still have quite a bit to do in the game, but I enjoyed my time with it. And I would recommend it based off my playtime with it. And for $3, you could do a lot worse, definitely. The other game that I've been looking at, it's kind of funny that it popped up because of a couple things. I don't remember how it came into my peripheral view, if you will, but it showed itself to me within the past month or two. And it actually kind of scratches that rhythm game itch that I've been talking about earlier. The game is $20, but it didn't look like it was $20 worth exactly. So I looked up Store Parser and saw that it goes on sale seldomly. It's been on sale for every 6 months, or maybe 3 months. A couple years ago, every 3 months or so. But it's never been as low as it's been as low as it is today, one other time. And so it's $10 down from 20, so it's half off. But the game is the Metronomicon Slay the Dance Floor. And I don't know much about it, but it's a rhythm-based role-playing game. And so you have directional inputs for different classes that you have in your group. And I assume based off your performance in the rhythm section it correlates to your attack and your damage and defense and all that stuff. Would either of you happen to know about it?
From personal experience, no.
Okay.
But this was the game I was going to suggest.
Yes. Like I said, I don't remember how it came into my life, but it came in very, very recently. Kronos is actually one of the only ones on my friends list who's played it. And so he recommends it, and I think I'm going to get it. So it has really good reviews on Steam. And like I said, it's never been cheaper than half off on Xbox. So never a better chance than now.
I mean, it looks very colorful.
It does look very colorful. Yep.
Pretty.
And like I said, again, rhythm-based stuff kind of draws me in. I don't know. It's just something about it that
it's gonna get you.
You got to put the headphones on. You get the beat in your head, and you just go with it.
I never would have pegged you as someone that likes rhythm stuff.
I'm telling you, Guitar Hero, Rock Band 1 and 2 especially were my jams.
Oh, and, I love the Rock Band stuff. I still have all my crap.
Call back to last week when I wasn't on the show. I was screaming at Ell in my headphones when he was talking about September 9th. He said 1999, but in my head I heard 2009 because I knew, just like Michelle did, the Beatles Rock Band came out, and I got that like day one. I recently had fallen in love with the Beatles at that time, and if they could not provide world peace, then we're at a total loss for that. So,
So, what do you think about like Boom Boom Rocket and Kickbeat Special Edition and Inside My Radio?
I think I don't know much about any of those.
Well, they're also listed as music genres, but they're different. Kickbeat is kind of a fighting game where you are being surrounded by ninjas and all kinds of crazy stuff, and you're supposed to be fighting them. And it's got a rhythm component to it. Boom Boom Rocket is a old game.
200 gamer score. Yep. Looking it up.
200, of course.
Oh, God.
And it's classical music. I'm not sure if there's other songs. I think it's mostly classical music, but it's basically a fireworks display. And so these fireworks are shooting up, and once they cross a certain line on the horizon, you have to hit the button. Wasn't sure if you knew about it. And Inside My Radio is like a platformer music game. So I was just wondering if you had seen any of those.
I've seen, looking at the title art, Inside My Radio, I've seen that before. I'll have to look into that one a little bit more. I was perusing the music genre here, as you probably were. I do see another one that I have access to that I've been meaning to try, I just haven't got to yet, and that's Air Guitar Warrior. So I should probably check that one out too. But it's not on sale this week. But yeah, that's all my tabs. Do you have tabs, Koosh?
I do have tabs.
Of course.
Once again, it's that time of year where it's time to recommend Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition.
I knew I was going to get sad.
On the X1, if you didn't get it as Games with Gold way back when, it's $3.74, down from $15.
It's not that good.
And how dare you? And the DLC that you need is a $3 DLC. So we're talking $6.74, down from $15.
If you don't want to pay for it, it's on Game Pass.
I was just about to ask that.
Is it on Game Pass right now?
The main game is, yeah. You still need that DLC, but...
Yeah, you have to pay for the DLC. But yeah, so right now with the DLC, it's 1.2 thousand gamer score. I had 2,986 TA. I can't tell you what it is without the gamer score for the TA because, I don't know how to look that up on TA.
That's
easily. Work. Once I've already got it. So it's that time of year, just do it. It's good. Don't listen to Kenny. It's not a tab, but it is a recommendation. One recommendation maybe I'm kind of thinking about is Lazy Galaxy Rebel Story. This is a shmup. It is $3.19, down from $8. It's got 1,000 gamer score and 1,222 TA. And the estimates say it's about 4 to 5 hours. So if you like shmups and they're not too long, why not? And finally, for a cheap game and an easy game, it's hard not to recommend Black and White Bushido, which is $6.49, down from $12.99. 1,000 gamer score, 1,049 TA, so you know it's completable. And it's rated at 0 to 1 hours in the fighting genre. I don't know about that 0 to 1 hours. Maybe that's right. But the other thing about this game is while I was doing that, while I was going through and getting all the easy achievements, this game seemed like it would be a fun game to actually play. I was kind of disappointed as I was playing this game that there was no one else around to kind of play it as a party game. Now, the idea behind this, if you don't know, is you're either black or you are white. And the background that you're fighting in is also black or white. When your character crosses over a like-colored section of the environment, you're invisible. Unless you're moving or attacking, in which case you change just slightly differently so that you're kind of visible. But if you stand still, no one can tell where you are. When you cross over into the other color, you're obviously visible. So it's kind of an interesting, game of hide and seek, cat and mouse, like luring people into your color section of the map so that you can then know when they're coming in and attack them from maybe a slightly different direction they weren't expecting. And I think there are power-ups, so you can throw shurikens and bombs and plant mines. It would be interesting to see people play this in a party. But even if you're just going for the achievements, it's pretty easy, and it's fairly easy to recommend. Maybe a little expensive just to get the achievements, but
need 4 controllers.
Oh yeah, you would need 4 controllers. Sorry, and since I have so many controllers that are broken and controllers intending to replace them, that was not an issue for me. But that's all I've got in terms of recommendations.
Continuing on, if you have not yet, you can download Hitman and Earth Defense Force for free if you have gold, which I imagine everyone has gold, because who would let gold run out, especially someone on this podcast? Crazy.
Ridiculous.
Anything new been added to the summer spotlight? You get your torchlight yet?
It's funny you should ask that. Summer spotlight's over. It ended on the 9th. But, of course, as soon as we recorded, and then a few days after we recorded, they continued to add things. So the things that were added and are now still available for purchase, but you won't get that sweet bonus. Not that sweet 4,000/$4 bonus. I don't think Wreckfest was on there. It's hard to tell. They were moving things around.
It was. I've been eyeing that up. That looks fantastic.
Restless Hero, Apocalypsis, the Tree of the Knowledge of Good and Evil. That's all one game. Sorry, it's just very long. I think someone said they completed it and it was fun. I don't think it's too long. I think it's a puzzle. Throne Quest Deluxe, don't know anything about it. River City Girls, I've heard it looks like a fun beat 'em up. Pirates of First Star, not of the First Star, but of First Star. Looks like. Do you remember those? This was going back a little ways, but there were movie trailers that were redone as thumbs.
As thumbs?
As thumbs. So someone would remake a movie trailer and they would use their thumb and they would dress their thumb up with like a little beard and hair and a lightsaber. I think they were like Thumb Wars was one of them.
Stupid.
I can tell you right now, Kenny's mind just goes to the Spy Kids.
Yeah. It might have been just for Star Wars.
I'm not going to deny that.
It might have just been Star Wars and they called it Thumb Wars, but I think they did it for other things as well. But the animation in this, the characters look just like they're from Thumb Wars. And that if that doesn't sell you on the game, then nothing will. Then there's Gaijin, Cringy 1, Kiss or Kill. I know I murdered that. I apologize. Post-War Dreams. And then there's Hymno, which is the rata that Corey mentioned earlier. Monochrome Order. Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville. Zombieland Double Tap Road Trip. And Trine Ultimate Collection, which I'm very interested in, but it was $50. I know it's going to go on sale at some point. And then I don't think we mentioned it last week, but Control was also on that list. Now, as for quick and cheap, the only one that I'm positive of is Hymno.
Yes, very quick, very cheap. But
one other thing to mention is Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville. That is in early access, and I think it's $30.
Founders Edition, yep.
Yeah, for the Founders Edition. And that will get you in early. That will also get you additional content as the game comes out, and it will be at a lower price than when it's officially released typically. So,
and each week they are offering special like Founders only rewards that I guess won't be available in a few weeks when the game's officially launched.
Ooh, very interesting. You have to launch into that, make sure I get all that stuff.
They do look like thumbs.
Did any of you guys pick up Summer Spotlight games, whether or not they're part of the Summer Spotlight deal or if you just picked them up incidentally?
I have not yet. I'm really going back and forth with Wreckfest. That looks really good. And I like the Destruction Derby type stuff. So.
I'm hearing good things for it.
I've heard a lot of good things about it.
The only one that I purchased was PC Builder Simulator. Don't ask me how it is or if I played it yet.
How is it? Have you played it yet?
It's great. Dived it.
The only one I picked up was Switch Force Collection, and I got it before Summer Spotlight started, so I never got credit for it.
Rip.
Now I was looking through on I guess the day before the sale ended or the Spotlight ended. I was trying to figure out what to get to save $4, and I just could not make it work. There were things I could have gotten, but $4 just, it's not that good of a deal when you consider that 6 months from now, a lot of that stuff is going to be, half price or
for sure,
quarter off. So I told myself that, Yeah, and so hopefully, well, that's why I held off. But there were a couple I was looking at, like Furwind in particular looked pretty interesting. Like I said, the Trine collection, definitely want that, but I know it's going to go on sale at some point. And there were others, but yeah, a lot of interesting stuff in the spotlight this year. I don't know. It just seemed like they didn't tailor it, or they didn't feature specific games like they used to back, before. What was that called? It was the Arcade Summer of Arcade.
Summer of Arcade.
Yeah. So when they did Summer of Arcade, it was like they knew what games they wanted to have go in ahead of time, and they kind of built it up around those 5 or 6 core games. This was just like, hey, Summer Spotlight. We're just going to tell you what came out this summer, with the exception of Torchlight 2, because why not? Why did you not do that? I would have bought that one. With the exception of Torchlight 2, it seemed like anything that came out during the summer, they said, yeah, it's in there. And we'll give you some sort of credit for it.
Yeah, and including things like Control. They're obviously, they weren't focusing on just indie games. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal was with the game selection, but I am glad that there was a selection instead of saying you have to buy 4 out of 5 of these games, whether you like them or not.
That's true. Like, if you want to get the $4 back, there was definitely a lot of variety.
And you keep saying $4, but you can get a $5 Microsoft card for less than 4,000 Microsoft
Oh, you can
points
now? Okay.
on a hot deal.
On
Well,
a
that
hot
sounds like a good deal. Let's head on over into the contest corner. It's over now, but the first one we want to talk about, at least give a shout out to the winners of Pete Tart's annual birthday bash. Corey, you got that list?
I do. Out of, I think, 118 people, we had
showing.
first place come in at just under 68,000 gamer score
Holy
in
crap.
1 week's time.
Not even,
That
was it a full week, too? I thought it was less than a full week.
It might not even be a full 24/7. This was by gamer Laos Domini, I think is how you say it.
Sounds fake.
I believe he is the gamer who, I don't know if he lined it up this way, but apparently he's been planning a 50,000 in one day. So he put up a blog and he had everything timed out. And so the majority of that gamer score came in one day, 1 24-hour period, I think.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. I'm glad I didn't try to go first. As far as other prizes go, 8th and 34th place were deemed winners as well. The weird thing is there were 2 7th place winners, so there's and they tied. So it goes from 7 to 9. So I'm not
That's so
sure
funny.
who is going to grab that 8th place prize, but your boy Rocker Dude finished under 10,000 gamer score for the week at 10th place. So I think, and I'm -1. So right there at the end, Mark B passed me for 9th place. And 34th place, the other prize winner is Tropan. So that's a nice little community get there.
Way to go. Congratulations, guys.
Yep. Thanks, P-Tart, for being born and having a birthday. And look forward to doing it next year.
All right. Well, next up is the RTDL Roundup. This will be a little bit shorter, but we do have one full combo to give a shout out to, and that would be the one and only Kingsman. Way to go.
Yes. That's pretty good. That might be our fastest full combo ever.
Potentially. I mean, as of recording, it's September 10th. So
he's had it for a couple days too.
Yeah, that's fast. Even if he got it today, getting it in 10 days, that's so impressive.
That's right.
All right. And next, the Gamertag Challenge update. Nate, you had something to say about this one?
Right. So, this month, if you weren't aware, is Freem Hole. Last month was J Black, and we announced the winner. There's some rule changes this month. We've simplified the scoring for our purposes, and we pulled the winner last month using the same rule set of points. The way the scoring works is for every letter you complete, it's 1 point. If you get all the letters, you get a bonus 5. And we have another rule to consider, and that is the person whose gamer tag is the gamer tag challenge for the month gets to pick one game. And that game, if you score any achievement in that game, you get one extra draw in the entry, or one extra entry to the draw, I should say. If you have already completed the game, then you get a free entry. If you don't own the game and you're not going to buy the game, then you do not get that bonus. You have no shot at it. So this is just a way for the person who is the gamer tag to kind of point out a game that they think other people should play. Some people, want to put games that they think are a pain to play or to force you to play that will make them laugh at you. But no one would do that.
I would absolutely do that. Everyone has to play ESO.
Yep. So Freemhole picked the game Fez. Now this is on 360. I don't believe it's backwards compatible. So break out your 360s and play it. I want that free draw.
Not backwards compatible game. That's just as bad.
At least it's a good game.
Yes, it's a good game. It's a good 200 point. Corey, you just said it was a good game. It's only 200 gamer score.
It was good in 2012.
Okay.
When it came out.
Okay. So just to confirm, it is a 200 gamer score game. It has 12 achievements, and it is not backwards compatible. So, but it's one of those games that, all the indie people, or people who like indie games, put this really high up on their list, it seems. So,
I think part of the reason I liked it so much was the developer and the game were featured on that documentary, indie game movie.
Yeah, I like that. That was a good little watch. And my wife actually watched that. So it's interesting even for people that aren't gamers.
And also, just as a reminder, as you do complete the gamertag challenge, make sure to sign up and have it added to a sheet, and don't just post it into Discord.
You can brag about it in the Discord. That's great, but it's not going to make it into the tabulation at the end. So if you have a sheet, make sure you add it to the sheet. If you don't have access to the sheet, send me a private message on the Discord, or look at the rules and submit for access to the sheet that way, and we'll get you entered.
Yes, we have it pinned. The last contest we're going to talk about, as always, is G-Task. And not that most people really care about eliminations, but we do have a couple at this point. Eliminations this week is all on the individual side. No teams got eliminated, so that's not bad. Eliminations are the Tominator 177, Tommy Shadowless Edge, Buck Marley 155, and X-Lax Jester. Not, like I said, not that anyone probably cares at this point because everyone has their badge. That's all that matters. Well, in that case, let's take it to our final segment, which is Proclamation Point. Nate, why don't you begin with it?
For completions, we have Rocker Dude 5012 has reached a new milestone of 150 completed games. And in the category of Achievements 1, we have Death Dealers has reached a new milestone of 4,500 achievements. Ben L 72 with 9,500 achievements. Chin Doctor has 23,500 achievements. And X the Hero has reached a new milestone of 24,000 achievements won.
Woo! Not bad.
Sorry, I'm just noticing that somebody was left off of this next section. Gamer Score, Doughboy has reached a new milestone of 125,000 Gamer Score. Beast Middle, 450,000 Gamer Score. Tropan, 450,000 as well. Ghost World hit that big 500,000 Gamer Score milestone.
Nice.
And General Tinstar has hit.
Oop, that's in the wrong section.
It's in the wrong section.
That would be my bad.
But we'll General Tinstar has hit 1,150,000 True Achievement Score. Continuing on with True Achievement Score, Koosh has hit 600,000 TA. Elroy OMJ 1 million TA.
Oh, big 1
and
million.
Chin Doctor at 1.2 million True Achievement scores.
For some leaderboard achievements, Dark Lord Davis is now in the top 10,000 of the True Achievement Leaderboard for Run and Gun.
Commas.
Fufu Cuddly Poof is now in the top 10,000 of the Gamerscore Leaderboard for Strategy. Koosh Moosh is now in the top 10 of the Maryland Gamerscore Leaderboard. Way to go. Not bad. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Big L is now in the top 500 of the completed games leaderboard for Metroidvania. And Matriarch, I got it right the first time, is now number 1 in the New York True Achievement Leaderboard for puzzle games. Way to go, Michelle.
On a Thursday.
Yeah, she's been wanting that one. She's really been wanting that one.
She's been chasing all the puzzle leaderboards. Dethroned Carnage, I believe.
Actually, Bills was
Bills?
number 1. When I looked, I think he was even like 8,000 gamer score ahead. So she popped in that much TA ahead of him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
Which means that she's a better puzzler. So
Obviously.
She was mentioning it was Bills and Carnage that were the highest ones. They were her chasing for the number 1.
That's awesome. And we got a couple of birthdays. As we mentioned before, B-Tart was celebrated her birthday on the 6th. And new to the Discord, but old friend, Grandy. He celebrated his birthday also on the 6th. Happy birthday, guys.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And in our community spotlight this week, we have a brag camp moment. Rocker Dude has completed his gamer score goal of 285,000 gamer score by January 1st. That's right.
Way to
achieved
Nepotism at its finest.
I achieved my FOOF for 2019. So, yay me.
Good job.
Oh, wait. Yay for me. That wasn't what I was expecting.
That's an odd sound effect for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sports ball for the guy that has that probably doesn't even know what that's from.
It's from baseball.
Oh, okay, so it's labeled. Got it.
Ballpark.
It's either labeled or that was a good guess. But that will do it for us this week. If you guys enjoyed the show, please like and review us on your platform of choice. The likes and reviews really help us out and helps get the show out to more people. And no matter what platform you're on, be sure to smash that subscribe button so you get all the latest shows. If you would like to send us a Twitter tweet, you can do so by sending us one on the Twitter at Achievements101. Be sure to follow the Mixer account at AH101. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can help us out monetarily and would like to pitch in couple dollars a month to help the show grow, reach out, get new community members, help out with the giveaways and whatnot, you can check out our Patreon, patreon.com/achievementhunting101. All the links for everything will be in the show notes. And last but not least, come join the community. It's always growing. We have so many people there. If you're listening and you're not in there, what is wrong with you? Discord link is discord.io/AH101. All right, guys. Talk to you next week. See you later.
Hello and welcome to an Achievement Hunting 101 podcast review. I'm Nate, a.k.a. Koosh Moose, and with me today is Big L, a.k.a. Big L.
Hello.
And today we're going to be reviewing Timerspinner. Publisher is Chucklefish. The developer is Lunar Ray Games. It was released June 4th, 2019. It has 1,534 tracked gamers with 242 completions. It has 1,870 TA. It comes out with a 12 to 15 hour estimate. It has no oddball gamer score values, so we're talking 5s and 0s. The publisher provided a code for this review. The game normally costs $19.99, and it's on the Xbox Game Pass for PC Ultimate, but it is play anywhere.
Yeah, so what you actually have to do is download the game to your PC first, and then you can go ahead and download it onto your Xbox.
Yep, that's how you can get it for freezies. But if you're paying, then yeah, you can just get it straight on the Xbox and just use the PC anywhere. From their website, Timespinner is a beautifully crafted, story-driven adventure inspired by classic 90s action platformers. Join timekeeper Lunai, that's how I'm going to say her name, on her quest for revenge against the empire that killed her family, using time-bending powers to explore a vast, connected world.
Ooh, I always said Lunaiez. I don't know.
You always said Lunaiez?
Lunaiez. Make her fancy.
There's no voice acting in this game, so you're free to interpret as you will, I guess.
You could say that for the majority of this game.
So I'll just talk about my experience, and then, Elle, you can talk about yours.
Okay.
I felt that it plays very much like, a DS, Nintendo DS or 3DS Castlevania game like Mirror of Fate or Portrait of Ruin. It's clear to me, and I'm sure to you, where the DNA, and kind of like the plan for this game came from. And kind of like what they had been playing in the past and kind of what they wanted to go with. I felt that the story was hard to follow, or maybe I wasn't interested in it so much. It kind of took a left turn for me early, and they kind of lost me with the story. I don't want to talk too much about it, but there is time travel involved, obviously, because of the name. Don't really want to go into spoiler territory. But to give you an idea, you go back in time, you kind of bounce around between 2 or 3 different time frames, and so your story is kind of time hopping forward and backwards, and sometimes they'll ask you to go do something in the future, and then in the future time they'll ask you, well, what actually happened? Like, this is what we think happened, but what actually happened? So you kind of pop back to the older timeline and get some information there. And so for me, with my limited attention span, it was maybe a little tricky to kind of keep all that straight. This game, like the Castlevania games, on the DS and such, has gear. And the gear can improve your stats and things like that. But the game doesn't really require you to do that. Like, you could basically run through the game with your starting gear, and the stats don't really change too much, I feel. So it was kind of like, it felt like it was tacked on. Now, maybe at the end of the game, if you went back to your base gear after you'd been just thrown on, the thing that ups your stats a little bit here, a little bit there as you're going along, maybe going back to that starter gear would feel like really underpowered. But as I was going along, it just didn't feel like I needed to maintain that.
You're talking about the armor upgrades and such?
Yeah, like armor upgrades and the hat and all that kind of... they were hats, right?
Yes, of course I know they were hats.
See, that's how important they were. So all this stuff that you could put on.
Yes, there was hats and crowns and...
They're all stat sticks, and it just... You didn't really need them that much, didn't seem like. So yeah, it's part of the game, but it's not an integral part of the game. Mm-hmm. There were a lot of different orbs, and the orbs are basically your attack, and they all have different properties and different ways that they can attack. But it felt like there were more orbs than you really needed, or the game was not designed in such a way that the orbs were necessary. You didn't need to switch between them. You basically found what worked for you, and you kind of stuck with it. And that's okay. But I think if there's that many different orbs, it's kind of, I would have liked to have seen more strategy in, okay, well, for this boss fight, you really want the fire orb, or you really want the iron orb, or you want the combination of how these two play off of each other. I thought that would be really cool. But for the most part, I just picked, a set or two for different, scenarios, and I just used those pretty much the whole game. Some spells that you can equip have alternate uses. Like there's one that makes a light wall, and you need that to kind of get around the map and work on your 100% map completion achievement. There is a nightmare mode, but when I first started playing this game, I jumped right into it because I didn't want to go through 2 complete runs of the game. If I didn't have to, I've got a lot of other games to be playing. So I figured, you know what? I like Metroidvanias. I like a challenge. I'm just going to jump straight into Nightmare and I'm going to go through. That's what I do with my guacamelees. I'll try it with Timespinner. Nightmare mode from scratch without knowing anything about the game is very difficult, and it's painful. I found myself just grinding in some low areas to increase my level and increase my attack and upgrade the orbs. And I was just like,
you should have upgraded your hat, man.
Yeah, I should have gotten a new hat. That's what it is. I needed I needed a really nice derby or something. So that kind of killed the joy. And I said, you know what? I don't want to not enjoy this game. I want to enjoy this game because I really do like this game. And as I'm playing, it may not sound like I had the best time with it, but it's just because this is a genre I love, and this game is modeled after other games that I love. So I have a lot of nits to pick.
Or nitpick, yes.
Yes. And then one last thing before I let you jump in and say, what you thought based on the game. But the time stop mechanic, I don't know about you, I used it 4 or 5 times. Mm-hmm. It felt like, for a game called Timespinner, I should have been forced to use that more. And I really only used it when it was necessary, and I didn't really end up needing it all that much at all.
Yes, the way the time mechanic is introduced is you need to stop time, and then you can jump on enemies to jump up to a higher platform. And that's generally when I used it as well, when you had to use it to get to a certain part of the map. When I did my Nightmare run, actually, my New Game Plus run, I used it to run through hard rooms. So you do use it then. Because even on the New Game Plus, I felt that when you got hit hard. So a lot of the game to me was traversing the map. And if you know me, I get lost a lot very easily. But I will say that I did not get lost very often in this game at all.
Okay.
I felt the maps were easy to read. I felt like there weren't too many hidden off the beaten path type things. A couple breakable walls here and there, and there's an item that you can wear that will point them out to you.
Yeah, I love that. Games need that.
Yes, once I found that, I kept it on.
Yeah.
Back to what you were saying about the orbs, I agree with you. You start off with orbs, and you're powering them up from usage, and once you find a new one, you're like, do I want to take off my level 10 fire orb for this new one? And you're like, no, why would I do that? And I felt the same way about the familiars. Much like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you have a familiar with you, and that's a little dragon at the start, and you find others along the way. And as a matter of fact, a second player can locally play as the familiar, but I believe all you can do is just attack, and it's probably not too exciting, but it can be done. But the same thing, once I found a new one, I did wind up switching to the sprite, because the sprite heals you.
Mm-hmm.
So I
think that's why.
You did that too? I wound up...
Yeah, that was my favorite, was the sprite.
Yes, the sprite would just randomly heal you, and then it would attack the enemy for 4 damage or something like that.
Yeah. Now, if you let the sprite get a kill, mm-hmm. It would actually level up its damage as well.
Yes, you have to let them get the kills to level up, right? That was the other...
I think so, yeah.
I think you're right. What else did you talk about? The story. One thing this game does have a lot of is lore, and it's in the form of its collectibles. There are letters and memories and downloads. Those are the 3 types of collectibles, and they are all lore. You can pause the game and read all about what's going on. And I think there actually is a pretty decent story, Nate. Whether or not it's for everyone is up to them. But even if you don't pay attention to the story at all, the gameplay is where this game shines, in my opinion. Combat feels good. You'll see the name of the enemy on the screen, and you'll see, kind of like an RPG, you'll see how much damage you're hitting them for. You said something about JRPGs. Have you ever played Chrono Trigger?
Yes.
I felt like the character models looked like, for whatever reason, like the faces, they look like the models in Chrono Trigger.
I can see that.
Just random aside. But yeah, there's RPG elements and obviously Metroidvania elements. I don't know what it is about this game. I really enjoyed it, and it's very rare that I start a campaign and stay up till 3, 4 in the morning, and I'm like, whoa, I'm still playing this game. I need to get to bed. And what was even better about this game is that I was able to take my save and bring it to work on my Surface. So, how did you play the game?
I played the game primarily on my PC.
Okay. So what I did, I played on my Xbox at home and on my Surface at work. And I had been burned in the past by another game. But this game, I was able to go back and forth. I never had a problem with the saves. So it was really awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely have been burnt in the past. So for the most part, I stick with one.
I don't blame you, but yeah. I did it and it worked great. And, no offense to the game's graphics and sound, but you don't feel like you're missing anything by not playing on your 4K TV.
That's true. It's no Ori, but right. It does what it does, and it kind of matches the inspiration, right? So the quality of the inspiration.
Yes. Symphony of the Night.
The same. Yeah.
Is obviously a love letter to Symphony of the Night, which set the standard, this type of map. And the music, oh man, I love the music in Timespinner. I even sought out the official soundtrack. Mm-hmm. And luckily it was on Spotify, so I didn't have to look too hard for it. I had a lot of earworms thinking about songs in this game, which doesn't happen often these days either.
Wow.
I know.
It's tailor-made for you.
I really love this game.
Well, I did read the lore. I don't know if I read all of it. I definitely skimmed it, and I definitely thought that the downloads were interesting. I liked the way that they... I mean, you paid more attention to them than I did. Did they change as time changed?
The lore? Not
so
to my knowledge.
Because the history is determined by the victor.
I honestly didn't pay that much attention to see if anything changed, but
okay.
Maybe I'll have to play as a familiar in someone else's playthrough and read them again and see.
Yeah, because, and you didn't mention it, but I know that just talking with you, when you went ahead and you did your New Game Plus, you were going to go and read all the lore before we did the review. But when you went back to do that after starting New Game Plus, the lore reset. So you ended up, you had to go collect everything.
I actually did collect them again, but I haven't read them all.
Okay.
But from what I did read, they definitely put a lot of information in there.
Gotcha.
The other thing I was going to say, going back to the time mechanic that you wish they would have used more of, I wish they would have done more with kind of like in Back to the Future, where you do something in the past and then it affects something in the future.
Yeah, I feel like they did it a little bit.
There was a couple bushes you had to burn. And then there wasn't much else.
Yeah, there was the gate you had to get through. Mm-hmm. So when you were in the lower part of the castle on the right, there were like the three little beams that were kind of blocking it. So that kind of changed, and you had to time hop to get that. And the bad guy and your knowledge about him changed as a result of time hopping. So I mean, it didn't really change the map very much. And it was kind of interesting to see like areas of the map were kind of locked off, and then once you got to them in the other time frame, you could see like I'm thinking, for instance, the little elevator in the mine shaft.
Yes.
Like when you run back before, it's it's inoperable, but then you get a little bit farther in the level, and then you've opened it up, and now I think that pathway on both timelines is now open. I think that's true. It's
I know what you're
definitely
saying.
In the one timeline. Yeah. Now, did you also notice, speaking of just the map and how it changes, did you notice that this map even though it doesn't have the same limitations as the inspirational games that they drew from, they still had the loading screen rooms where you're running through. So it's a room between zones that they use as a trick to load in the new zone. So you run from like this one really large area, you run through this really long room.
Like a corridor. Yes, I know what you mean.
Exactly. And you go through that one corridor, and when you get to that next area, it's loaded that whole new area. Like that's what the old games used to do. This game has, new technology, and you would think it's got a lot more RAM, it's got a lot more memory. It doesn't really need to rely on those tricks, yet they still included it because of where they drew their inspiration from.
Okay.
Did you notice those rooms?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
One other thing I wanted to mention is the non-playable characters that you meet throughout the game, and they offer you quests. And one of the things I enjoyed was doing the quests for these characters, because whenever you did the quest, you unlocked something you needed in the game, or you got some money, or you got a new item, and you also did more of the story. So it's kind of two reasons to do the quests.
Yeah, I wish that the quests were more involved. They all pretty much boiled down to fetch quests or kill quests.
Right.
Go kill 8 of these, go kill whatever these, go kill 300 of these until you get a chicken leg to drop.
Wasn't that bad.
It was a wing.
Like
wow, gosh, I must have killed that really big, mega chicken 20, 30 times before I got his
mega
wing.
Chicken.
Yeah, so
I know what you mean, but I did enjoy doing them, and all of the NPCs interconnected, and they all hung out in this room. I guess you would call it kind of like the hub. So whenever you traveled somewhere and you wanted to save the game, I would generally go there, and you could buy stuff from them and upgrade your orbs. One of the characters is a blacksmith.
That's another good point. If you're having problems with this game, especially in nightmare mode, you can buy items that will restore your health or that will help you upgrade orbs. And so you can kind of just grind for that. And by the time you're done with your first playthrough and certainly your second playthrough, you're going to have a lot of money that you can spend on upgrading orbs. That actually helps negate the difficulty of the Nightmare Plus. So rather than like memorizing a couple boss patterns at the end that I just didn't want to deal with, I just loaded up on like the extreme heal potions. Yeah, I just like dropped 4 potions in a fight instead of learning his mechanics.
That is part of the game.
Yeah.
I do wish that they had a shortcut button to some of those potions, because you find yourself pausing the game during a fight, kind of losing that momentum a little bit, and you gotta use the potion. So that would have been interesting to have maybe a shortcut button for that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the items were kind of useless too.
Yeah.
I don't remember specific ones. Maybe like there was jerky or stuff like that.
They'd remove certain status effects. I think there were 2 status effects, right? There was like a poison.
Yes.
And then there was like
chaos.
And chaos. Yep.
Yeah. There was one funny item I'm trying to remember. It said, "Don't eat this," and then did you eat it?
Was it like a toad or something?
It was something that said, "Don't eat this," and then if you eat it, you get poison. It's really funny. I forgot what it was exactly.
That definitely reminds me of Chrono Trigger. I mean,
yes,
it's very yeah.
All right, you want to talk about some Chivos?
Yeah. So the achievements in this game, you have all your standards for getting, all your weapons, which are the orbs, and your necklaces, which allow you to cast certain spells, and rings, which give you certain passive skills. Then, like Elle was mentioning, you have the collectibles of familiars, letters, downloads, and memories. All of these have their own achievements for completing them, or maybe even getting the first one. So you expect that, and they're definitely there. As I was saying earlier, you might be tempted to grind for gold to purchase the rings and the chains and upgrade all your items, but really by the time you complete the game, you've probably got much more than you need to to help yourself get through, and also to buy the shiny pebble. There's an item that the Crow vendor sells, called a shiny pebble, and I think it's 9,999 gold. And it makes getting the Crow familiar extremely easy, which it may still be possible without that shiny pebble.
Yeah, that's the rock.
Yeah, but once you get that, it's not a problem. You get him right away. It seemed, at least for me. There's an achievement for completing all of the side quests. And those quests, once again, they're fetch quests, they're kill counts, and there's one to kill a special boss, which actually drops an orb that is very useful for getting one of the other achievements, which is uncovering 100% of the map. There are certain rooms that are very large and they're hard to get to to get up in the top right corner, the top left corner. But that orb gives you a special ability called Light Wall, and you can cast it and jump on it. It reminds me of Mega Man games when you use Rush to kind of get around.
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
The Rush items.
Yeah, I knew that sound immediately.
It's not quite the same thing, but you know what I'm talking about.
And like PlayStation games, there's a platinum achievement for getting all the achievements. I want to ask you about one achievement in particular, and if you had to say there was one achievement that was more difficult than you thought or difficult to understand what you needed to do, what would that one be?
Clearly, there's an answer that you have in mind.
Clearly have one in mind, yes.
I'll let you answer.
There is an achievement for collecting an orb without breaking a pedestal.
Ah.
Yes. Now,
I asked you about this one.
This achievement's very frustrating. Were you frustrated by this?
Once I knew what to do, I was not frustrated because, well, you helped me out. I asked you about it. You just have to keep stopping time until it lines up exactly. But
the problem with that is that you run out of your time-stopping resource. You run out of the sand if you don't get it.
It's usually a thing nearby to refill your sand.
I think there's probably better places, but the one place I did was, I'm going to say, 4 screens away. So had I done this, had I planned this better, I probably could have found an orb that was right next to a refill station.
Yes.
a little bit closer. Because I ended up having to make like 10 trips just trying to get this. And it was getting very frustrating. And then one of the solutions I saw said to, just don't even look.
Spam.
Just, watch the TV, just spam it, and you'll eventually get it. And as soon as because I thought, well, that's ridiculous. Like, I obviously will do better if I pay attention to what I'm doing. And once I finally gave in and just said, okay, I'm just going to spam it, I got it within like the next minute. So it was ridiculous.
All right.
Yeah. So.
Nothing too bad. One thing that was funny, I don't know if you recall, in some Metroidvanias, including Symphony of the Night, you actually get more than 100% of the map. So I was surprised that it actually stopped at 100%.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those games, they just keep going. It's like, what is it actually supposed to be?
Now, you were having trouble using the light wall or didn't know about the light wall when you're trying to get the 100%. Were you using the other ability?
Once I got the light wall, I figured out I was actually going through the game without the light wall. So there's certain parts where you're jumping up and you have to stop time and you land right on this guy's head and you keep jumping up.
Yeah, so I did that as well.
So I actually enjoyed not having the light wall. You actually don't need the light wall. There's an ability you get at the end of the game that lets you kind of fly around. And you can go back and pick up everything you need with that. But there were some sections that were like, if you didn't want to wait till the very end of the game to get whatever goodie was hidden up there, I guess you could have waited till the very end. But yes,
there were some sections I just had no idea how I was going to get up there. And eventually, I tried to play this without a guide, and there were certain times where I had to look things up.
Yes, I also played without a guide.
Was one of them.
I played without a guide for the most part as well. One thing that I appreciate is there's no missable achievements either. Yeah. So if you don't get anything in your first playthrough, you can get it in your second, and it's the same type of thing. One thing you probably didn't realize when you were starting on Nightmare is that you need to go through twice anyway to get 2 different endings.
Right.
So you did the right thing. You said you started over on normal, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I initially thought that I could get through with just one play, but yeah, once again, because I didn't look at the achievements, I didn't look at any guides, I was just thinking, okay, well, it's got Nightmare mode. I have to beat Nightmare, and in addition to unlocking Nightmare, and the way you would normally unlock Nightmare is by beating the game, but there was a code you could enter that would unlock Nightmare from the beginning. So
interesting.
Yeah. So, but I ended up beating the game first and then doing Nightmare anyway.
Yeah, that New Game Plus run is a little jarring at first because they take away your double jump, they take away most of the abilities you learned, but you can still run. You get a running ability, and you can still use the light wall, so you can sequence break a little bit. But overall,
and you're really powerful.
Yes, you are really powerful, but you do get hit for quite a bit if you get hit.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to touch on?
I mean, I came down pretty hard. I feel like it sounds like I'm just coming down pretty hard on this game, but I think it's because, like I was saying, I really enjoy the genre. I really enjoyed this game, and I would like to see it do much more. And be something that I can easily recommend and say, this is, there's nothing wrong with this game. Like, this game is a perfect game. And unfortunately, it's not a perfect game. It's a really good game with a few things that I wish that they would improve upon. Perhaps in a sequel, perhaps in
You hear that, Chucklefish?
The next attempt. Exactly.
We need a Timerspinner too.
Any last thoughts from you, El?
Well, do we want to give this game a grade?
Sure.
I mean, I actually agree with you that it's not perfect, but I think it's perfect for me. I gave this game a 5 out of 5 on TA, and I would give this game basically a nearly perfect score. I really, really enjoyed it. I couldn't stop thinking about it when I wasn't playing it. I couldn't wait to get back to it. And like I said, it was a couple late nights that I haven't done in quite a while, getting this game done.
Yeah, I definitely attacked this game pretty hard. I didn't play too much else between my play sessions, and that is kind of rare. So yeah, I see where you're coming from.
I think it's just the gameplay, and a part of it is nostalgia. We grew up with this kind of stuff with our Super Metroids and our Castlevanias, and it didn't try to reinvent the wheel too much outside of the orb system and some other things. But I highly recommend it to anyone, especially that it's on Game Pass. At $20, I would say wait for a slight sale. Maybe $15. But that's just us being spoiled in this day and age. Of course, it's worth $20.
I think so, yeah. I would agree with that. When this... I feel like $20 is not a bad price for this game. But if you're hesitant or you're unsure, definitely get this one when it's on sale.
I have something blasphemous to say first,
Boy.
Nate. You're going to find this blasphemous.
All right.
I liked this game better than Guacamelee. Oh, he's spitting water.
I'm sorry. Oh.
I know. Shocking, right? And I love Guacamelee, mostly because of its humor and its co-opness. But this game, I believe, had superior gameplay. Superior music, and it just gripped me.
I don't know about that.
That's okay.
I at this point, I think it comes down to personal taste. Yeah, personal
I love them both.
No, I agree. I like them both. Now, the one thing that this game has over Guacamelee is lore. You definitely have that sit down and read the lore and, kind of think about the world. And there's a lot more backstory. But, wow, to put this above Guacamelee, I feel like that's saying something.
I know. I hope we get a sequel.
Yeah, I would definitely play a sequel. So the game, once again, is Timespinner, publisher Chucklefish, and developer Lunar Ray Games.
Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, I'm Waka, and it is time for yet another Battle Royale review. Apex Legends was one of this generation's best kept secrets when it launched back in February of 2019. Respawn Entertainment showed an unusual understanding of gamers' mentality when they released the probably best Battle Royale game to date by simply letting it out in the wild without the traditional pre-release fanfare. The free-to-play first-person sci-fi squad-based Battle Royale Apex Legends is a spin-off from Titanfall 2, which ditches the mechs and horizontal wall running. Many question the reasoning of releasing a Titanfall game without Titans, but from what I heard, Fortnite proved recently Titans are no fun in Battle Royale settings. So, what sets Apex Legends apart from the competition? Standouts are the sci-fi setting of the Titanfall universe, AAA production values spanning graphics, user interface, controls and sound design, and also focus on 3-player squads. 3-player squads is in fact the only way to play Apex Legends most of the time, which is unfortunate. I jumped in when they ran a week-long event which allowed you to play solo matches. This has allowed me to get a good grip of the game without dragging my team down. In hindsight, this was not necessary as the player base runs the gamut from gamer gummies fueled Apex Legends to players who do not seem to have held a controller in their life before. The very varied map feels smaller than it looks as you move really fast and gunfights get really intense. You can usually take quite a lot of damage, and one-on-one fights are usually decided by who has to reload first. Teamwork is essential as the magazines are small and you can rarely take down more than one opponent without having to reload. A big distinction from other Battle Royale games is that you are not truly gone after dying. If your health bar goes to 0, you get to crawl around and get picked up by your teammates like other Battle Royale games. If they kill you from that state, your teammates can pick up your remains and bring them to a beacon to revive you in the match. Teamwork is the most important factor for a successful match, and Apex Legends has a very elegant way to make this possible without a headset. Pressing the RB button pings objects in the environment and behaves differently depending on what you ping. This is a great way of pointing out enemy locations, movement suggestions, or interesting loot around the map. The high visibility graphics and reliance on your team makes stealth a difficult approach, and unlike other Battle Royale games, these space mercenaries seems to have solved their biological waste situation in a different manner, making the Battle Royale staple of hiding in bathtubs in restrooms impossible as the game is completely devoid of toilets or bathtubs. You cannot even lie down to hide better, just crouch. The fast pace of the game does not lend itself to hiding as the matches are usually around 15 minutes long. The fastest win I had was 12 minutes. A match has up to 20 squads of 3 players, totaling 60 players in one game. Apex Legends at the moment features 10 playable characters called Legends, of which 6 are available when you start the game. You can either level up to be able to purchase additional characters, of which you need 8 to get all the achievements, or purchase them directly for around $8 each. The game is microtransaction heavy, but apart from characters and to some degree experience boosters which help you level faster, everything else is cosmetic and does not tie into any achievements, of which there is only 12 worth 1000 gamer score, worth 1600 TA. The TA rate of 1.6 is not great for a completion that will take around 60 hours. There are a few reasons for why a game with such a long completion time has such a low TA ratio. Number 1, the list is very easy with only 2 luck-based and 3 time-consuming achievements, especially if you don't pay real money for additional characters. Number 2, it is difficult to earn your first achievement. Unless you stumble into a competent team that carries you to victory, your first achievement will likely be being the Jump Master 5 times. The Jump Master is simply a randomly assigned player in each squad that controls the jump from the dropship at the beginning of each game, meaning you should get this achievement at around your 15th game. Number 3. Apex Legends is a really fun game with great gameplay, production values, map design, and a colorful cast of playable legends. The legends effectively conveys their personalities, and like the Apex members of Titanfall 2, they are over the top, and I find it funny that a game set far away from Earth still has characters such as the mercenary space Jamaican medic and mercenary space Mexican speed junkie. Of course, it wouldn't be a Respawn game without an awesome space robot who happens to be a mercenary. Each legend also have 2 of their own special abilities. These are not crucial as the gameplay is the same for everyone, but setting a gas trap, decoy or smoke bomb at the right time can give you an edge in the fight. For the completion, you need to have 8 legends unlocked, which you'll be able to do once you hit level 43 after around 50 hours. Or you can pay around $8 to purchase an additional character. The final achievement will likely be for reaching level 50, which can be sped up by playing on double XP weekends or indirectly purchasing experience boosters through the battle passes. Battle passes are time-sensitive ways to unlock extra goodies for playing the game, such as cosmetics, experience boosters, or premium currency. The second season is about to wrap up, which makes this a bad time to purchase a battle pass, as it will expire soon. Season 3 will begin in a few weeks and would be a good time to purchase a battle pass if you want to support the developer and give yourself some extra incentive to play the game. Going back to leveling, the most important factor for getting experience is time alive in matches. Kills, revives and placing high in a match grants extra experience, but in the end most of your experience points will simply be for staying alive in a match. While time consuming, there's probably only one achievement in the game actually requiring some skill, and that is for becoming the kill leader. The kill leader is the living player with the highest number of kills in a match. However, you have to get to 3 kills before becoming the kill leader. This might sound like a daunting task, but given the time you put into the game, you'll likely stumble upon this sooner or later. In fact, 68% of the players on TA have become the kill leader, meaning a ratio of 1.21. The rest of the achievements you can just get carried by your team. You don't even need to be alive at the end of the game as long as you stay in the match spectating your team winning. Apex Legends is a great deal of fun, especially with friends, and with the low price of entry of $0 and no need to spend more unless you want to, disregarding the time consuming completion, I give Apex Legends 2 thumbs up.
This podcast brought to you by our good friends over at the Coalition, makers of Gears Pop. Or else it would have been, but half the population can't log in to your stupid game, so seriously, fix your